Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, Dr. Haider Shah. On behalf of Calvas, I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar. Thank you very much for joining us. Today we have another very interesting topic, and I'm really honored to introduce the distinguished guest speaker who is going to talk about the CV writing and interview tips and techniques. Really very interesting topic. Most of the time people are confused what to write in CV and how to give different answers to the interviewer, and most importantly these are the defining moments of your career as well. So you will get the best insights about all these things as we have an expert with us in today's this session. So stay tuned because an amazing stuff are coming ahead in this session. So before we start, I would like to thank Kalwas for arranging such enlightenment sessions, for their support and providing us such a wonderful platform. The aim of Kalwas is to give you the opportunity to connect and interact with world renowned speakers, academic leaders, teachers, authors, researchers, experts, professionals, and businessmen to learn from their experiences, recommendations, and suggestions, which will create an impact and will enable you to learn and develop yourself in order to grow and transform individually, as well as to contribute to the world in a positive way. As our slogan is come, learn, and share knowledge. So today we have an amazing person as guest. He is an internationally known and recognized speaker, having vast experience and exposure in academia and industry. A man from a leading institution, he is a great human being, and he is always ready to share his knowledge on different platforms. So let me introduce him formally. He is a PhD HRM candidate in in School of Business and Economics from University Putra, Malaysia, and assistant professor, faculty of business and entrepreneurship, the Daffodil International University of Dhaka, Bangladesh, and currently he is on study leave. He has more than 18 years of experience in the field of academic and corporate. He earned MBA degree major in HRM and marketing from Bangalore University, India, and under the Indian government scholarship, and BBA degree major in management from Southern Adventist University, USA. He also completed PGD in retail management degree from ICFAI University, India. He received Outstanding International Student Award from Garden City Group of Institution, Bangalore, India. In addition to that, he is the founding Joint General Secretary, Bangladesh Society for Private University Academics and Consultant, HR Outsources, and My Job Dhaka. He is the ex-president of a Graduate Student Club, School of Business and Economics, University Putra, Malaysia. He is a life fellow and ex-joint secretary of Bangladesh Society for Human Resource Management, and one of the founder of HR Club Bangladesh Limited. He is the chief advisor of Business Genius Bangladesh and advisor of TANN Tan Rat Group Bangladesh. He is the former conference and skill enhancement secretary of Bangladeshi Student Union Malaysia, a former vice chairman of World Organization of Student and Youth India, and former joint general secretary for of Federation International Students Association, Bangalore, India. He was a debater in his student life, and presently he is the advisor to the chairman and ex-moderator of National Debate Federation, Bangladesh. Moreover, he was the syndicate member at the Select International University. He is a life member of American Alumni Association and a member of Society for Human Resource Management, USA. He attends career HR related TV talk show, radio programs as an expert and resource person, and conducted 40 plus webinars, workshops, seminars locally and internationally. He was the conference secretary of 6th BSHRM MedLife International HR Conference 2017. In addition to that, he is the associate editor of International Journal of Bangladesh Society for Human Resource Management and has published 26 research articles in reputed peer-reviewed international and local journals, including Scopus Index journals. His main area of research interests are green HRM, strategic HRM, the sustainability, etc. Last but not the least, he's a wonderful speaker, author, teacher, researcher, professional, and above everything, a great human being. So please help me in welcoming our guest, Assistant Professor Muhammad Abdullah Al Mamun. Welcome to Kalwa's platform, and thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Haider Shah, for your wonderful, generous introduction about me.
Thank
So,
you.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. I think all over the world you have joined, and maybe in future also you can watch from the YouTube channel. So I think already you know from our Dr. Haider Shah, today I will be talking about CV writing and interview tips and techniques. Basically, today's topic basically important for the fresh graduate, or especially who are looking for the jobs. And I think who are the academicians or senior person, or maybe who are on the payroll already, for them maybe it will be you can prioritize, but I think according to me, my presentation I have prepared basically considering in my mind for the fresh graduate, and especially for the students who can prepare themselves by these 4 years or 5 years of student life for the job market. So I think I have little presentation. So I have two presentation, one for the CV writing and another for the interview tips and techniques. End of my presentation, we will try to take your question also if our time permits. So uh,
Yeah, it's
let
a
me
real
go.
pleasure to have you, sir. Yeah, thank
Uh,
you very much. Please.
okay, so I think you can see my slide. Yes,
Yes,
slide
sir,
is
it's
okay.
visible. Carry on,
Okay,
please.
thank you. So already you know my introduction, so I'm not spending on time over there. Just I want. Okay, so okay, so already I think you got a big introduction about myself, so I'm not spending any more time on myself. So let us start with this statement: be the best version of you. This is very simple, and I think for the young generation, especially who are looking for a job, or you want to make your career plan. So in that case, my first suggestion will be the best version of you. We may copy, but I think that will not be the wise decision. If you feel that I'm very expert in drawing, so you can be a artist. It doesn't mean that you have to be a doctor or engineer. So I think from my 18 years of experience, basically in the academic, so I have seen that many of the students, or few of the students, they choose their career based on the recommendation of their parents, or maybe the elder brother, or some cases maybe their friends also. That should not be. So very simple advice to the young generation, especially for the students: uh, be the best version of you. What you likes, you do that. I think you will get the success in your career. That is the message at the beginning for you. Now very shortly, let us start our discussion, formal discussion, that is CV or resume. Essentially, I think you may ask a questions: what is the difference between CV and resume? I think at the beginning, let me give the answer. CV basically curriculum vitae, we use basically in the British format, and resume we use in the American term. And basically you learned, I think, in business communication class, that is maybe resume mean in brief. So I think now the point is, sir, what I will write in my cases. I think you will write what is written in the job advertisement. In the job advertisement, it is written CV, so you will write CV. If it is written resume, so you will write in resume. In some cases, no need to written even CV or resume also nowadays. So I think it's not a big deal. And how will prepare your CV and resume? So I think I will discuss now. First, let us discuss the significance or essential of CV or resume. CV or resume is the first kind of communication between employer and employee. So I think you are understanding the significance of this, as it is the first kind of communication. So you are not going, your CV is representing yourself or your competency or your skills. So that's why it should be very, very scientific. CV or resume is essentially a marketing tool that gives you an opportunity to sell yourself and your abilities to employers. Through your CV or resume, you are essentially saying to a prospective employer, I can do the job and interview me. You have to give the clue in the CV or resume for asking questions during interview. This is very, very important. And how will give the clue? So later on, I will discuss. Generally, if I say that if it is a formal interview or recruitment process, in that case, you can say HR manager checks only maybe 10 to 20 seconds, not even 1 minute also time they will not get if it is a formal recruitment process or selection process. In if I consider in Bangladesh context also, and I think for Pakistan also you deal with the same, that maybe thousand application will come for a single circular. Next, these are the few things that what you should do in the CV or what you should not do. Let us first discuss about what you should do. CV and resume has to be based on the job advertisement. I think this is very, very important point. CV has to be based on job advertisement, not the British format, not the American format, not Eastern, Western, whatever. To me, CV has to be based on job advertisement. You will keep your job advertisement one side. You will see the requirements over there. You will have a master copy, and based on that, you will edit your CV or you will modify your CV, and then you will submit. CV or resume basically should be 2 to 3 pages. As I said at the beginning of my speech, that today's discussion basically I have kept in mind for the fresh graduates. So for fresh graduates, CV is 2 to 3 pages is enough. Somebody says 1 pages. To me, 1 pages, I think some cases will not be enough to express yourself. So in that case, that's why I'm saying 2 to 3 pages. In that case, again, give major information on the first page of the CV. So that's why I said that some cases maybe the HR manager will not check the second page or third page if he or she is not convinced with the first page. So that's why the first page should be the major information. And major information means here I'm focusing on the information which are written on the job advertisement. So in that case, if all the information not possible to cover in one page, of course it will go to the second page, but priority will be based on the job advertisement. Clearly show those strengths and experience that are most relevant to the job you are applying for. Include power words like achieved, supervised, launched, and coordinated when describe your work achievements. Keep your CV or resume up to date. Modify it accordingly by adding new skills or qualifications that you have gained. Like today, you are attending this workshop. So I think after this workshop, you can add this today's workshop in your CV. So I think my suggestion is, who are looking for a job, at least once in a week, you will spend at least 10 minutes time on your CV. Like that, you can update or you can enrich your CV. As I said, this is the first kind of communication between employer and employee. Of course, you will do the double check for the grammar and spelling mistakes. Next, these are the things you should not do. Like, first of all, you should not tell a lie, never and ever. Don't make computer print of the picture. That means you have to take the lab print of the picture. Don't include irrelevant personal information, especially if you consider in the international perspective. So some cases, they are not bothered about your family information or the personal information. Don't include unnecessary references. Some cases I have seen, as I have both the experience, some cases I have seen more than 3 references also in the CV. Maybe some cases it is suitable for the academic purpose, but I think in professional purpose, not even more than 2 references is required, according to me. Don't explain gaps in the work history. I think these all are self-explanatory, so I think no need to explain, and you will have the record, so you can watch the slide also over there. Don't add negative information like divorce, failed exams, or driving license points, or failed business startup attempts. Don't include jargon or technical terms unless necessary in the CV also, because we know the some cases business word or jargon or technical terms not easy to understand by the other people. Don't photocopy or reprint in the CV or resume, because as I said, you have to modify based on the job advertisement. So in that case, don't photocopy in a 5 set or 10 set in a single time, or even reprint also. Don't mention expected salary if not required. And finally, a well-written CV or resume can make a difference. Next, format of CV or resume. These all are introductory information. I think these are very information for anybody who wants to prepare a CV or resume. Formatting your CV is necessary to make your document clear, professional, and easy to read. Keep it simple. Unless you are applying for a design role, a clean, simple layout is best. That means if you are not applying for a designer job or creative job, your CV should be very simple. If it is designing job and creative job, that's a different thing. Use clear section headings and make them stand out with bold type, capital letters, and different color, not more than two colors. Nowadays, always we are using the maybe the soft copy CV. So in that case, we have the option for making the to use the color. But again, I think more than two colors, it will not be looking good. Don't consider my slides here to give the more attention. I have used more than two colors, but in your CV, you should not use more than two colors. If it is the printed form, in that case, no color CV, black and white is enough. But as when you are submitting the soft copy CV, so in that case, I think you have the option that you have the choice. You can make the color CV, but don't use more than two color. Like name and job title should be bold. Make sure there's plenty of white space, and overstuffed resume is hard to read. As you know, already you came to know at the beginning, the HR manager has less than 1 minute time to read your CV. So in that case, if it is overstuffed, so it will not make any sense. It will be very difficult to read the information. Bullet lists, like make lists such as your collection of skills or awards easier to consume by adding small bullets. Choose the right font of type and size. So I think somebody says the Times New Roman is the official format. I think it's not true. You can use the any other font size also, but my advice will be check it is easy to read or not. If you make more stylish or italic, so it will not be easy to read. Don't copy like certificate. We have seen the name always. We make it stylish and italic, but don't do that in the CV. Keep your text between 10 to 12 fonts. It's enough. A good rule is to keep your margins between 1 to 1.5 inches in both. I think that is enough. And skip the fancy graphics, pie charts, and illustration, which don't play well with resume scanning software. So this is very, very important for the present time, because when you are submitting your online CV, in that case, don't use any pie chart or graphics or fancy illustration, especially the table, because the resume scanner software cannot read that. So don't use any table in the CV. And chronology of the CVR content, for me, it is very simple that it has to be based on job advertisement. I think this one word is enough. And the remaining things, I think if you are a fresh graduate, you may start with the education. But if you have the job experience, of course, you will start with the experience. So that's why the thumb rule is you will follow the job advertisement. What I am showing here, no need to follow. Now, I think these are the contents. Let's go in elaborate. That is the key contents of resume or CV. So here today I can share you a master list. So you can start with this. Of course, the first information will be the contact information. You can use the two cell number. First one, of course, your number, and the second one will be your guardian number. In absence of you, who will receive your phone on behalf of you. It may be your parents, brother, sister, whatever. In email address, try to make it simple. To me, don't use the middle slash or under slash, because it will make problem. So my suggestion is you use the dot, or some cases maybe take the name from your certificate. So see, Raju Mohammed Raju Mia, so I make it raju.mia@gmail.com or raju2019@gmail.com. So better you take the email's address name from the certificate name. Don't use your nickname in the email address. That's my personal opinion. And I said don't use more than two numbers, numerical numbers. So I have one email address, that is mamun7777@gmail.com. So I have bitter experience. Some cases maybe people missed 17 and I didn't receive the email. And of course, the Facebook, LinkedIn, social networking ID right now you have to use. So maybe somebody can say, why I have to use the Facebook ID, because this is my personal. To considering my Bangladesh country's example, so I think here Still most of the people, I don't know about Pakistan. I think end of my speech, I can learn from the today's host also that what is the scenario in Pakistan. But in Bangladesh, I can say that still most of the people there used to use the Facebook. In general, I can say, though they use the LinkedIn and other Instagram or Twitter, but still I think if you say that if you do the survey, in general people there used to use the Facebook. So you will see a lots of circular also in the Facebook. So that's why you have to be regular in the Facebook, but and also you have to give the link. At the same time, my suggestions: don't use Facebook only for uploading the picture. At the same time, you use, like today, end of the session, you take some snapshot, you take some important slides and give a message, give a post in the Facebook that today I have attended a workshop, international webinar on CV and resume writing, which was conducted by and hosted by Dr. Haider Shah. So like that, you can write, you can give a status, so it will make sense. And then the even your prospective employer or recruiter also will come to know that not only you are using your Facebook only for the uploading picture, at the same time you are attending the learning session also. As I said that most of the people they are used to use Facebook in Bangladesh, so that's why I said. And these are the chronology of the topics. I think next slide also I can explain one by one, but I think I have to explain in very short as we have very limited time. The career objectives, somebody says the personal objectives or summary statement. So in that case, the career objective should reflect your possible employers and understanding of how you wish to move forward in your professional life. Career objective should discuss who you are and how your skills and experience best apply to the job you are interested in. Start with the two words, and career objective should not be more than one sentence. It should be maximum 2 to 3 lines. My experience is I have seen career objectives even half pages. So I think that should not be expected. And here, as I am the business person, so I don't know what are the terms you supposed to use for the engineering job and the other jobs. But in business job, like if you are from HR major background and you are preparing a CV for HR major job, so I think in the career objectives you should use the keywords like motivating, leadership, or dynamic, which are the relevant skills for the HRM job, like for the marketing, challenging, motivating, hardworking, etc. And again, for finance, you can use the keyword like analytical, decision making, etc. In that case, my suggestion is who are the fresh graduate, so I think they can use the career objectives. But if you have long career experience, so in that case, you can use the summary statement. I think that's also acceptable. Then date of birth. So here my suggestion is if it is the major information, that means if it is mentioned in the job circular, you can write at this stage. If it is not written in the circular, age is not required, so you can write in the personal information because this is not the major information. So how you will write? So I think it is, you can see on the screen. Again, education, we know that you have to start the education with the start with the latest degree. I have started with the MBA, then BBA, like that. And O level, A level, especially for the international perspective, some cases not expected, especially in our academic field. O level, A level, it doesn't make any big sense. And again, as I said, that I have seen some of the CVs, they use the table for the education. So as I said, it is not possible to read by the software. So better not to use any table for this. So I think how you can write. So I think how I have written, you can follow this. Project work. So this is basically for the fresh graduate. For you, this is very, very important. I think for some of them, I think this is a new addition in your CV. I know maybe few of them you didn't include it. You didn't include this project works. So see the example how you can add this project works under this heading: a project on strategic human resource management practices of Grameenphone Limited in strategic human resource management course. So my suggestion is, I think you will have at least 6 to 8 major courses in the BBA program, or 4 courses or 4 to 5 major courses in the MBA program. So in the major courses, so like that, I know you are doing some assignment or group assignment or maybe some project. So that project you can write here. And by writing here, as I said at the beginning, you have to give the clue in the CV for asking questions during interview. So you're giving a clue that I am expert on strategic human resource management practice, or maybe I know something about strategic human resource management practice of Grameenphone Limited. And of course, the interviewer will ask questions from here in the selection in the interview board. So I think this is a new edition, maybe few for some of them. And of course, as I said, this is important for only for the fresh graduate who are already on the payroll. For them, maybe this project will not give any significant contribution. Next, the experience internship part-time job. For the freshers, my suggestion is, if it is without pay also, try to get some part-time job experience during your undergraduate or graduate life. If you want to get a job in corporate, if it is without pay, still get the experience. But I can say that considering I know that Bangladesh, Pakistan, almost we have the similar culture as before 1971, we are belongs to the same country. So we have so many similarities, I know. So maybe our young generation, they don't want to do that. But my suggestion is, do the part-time job during your student life. And how you'll write your experience or internship experience or part-time jobs, I think clearly I have mentioned here that position, organization with full address, key responsibilities, maybe 2 to 3 key responsibilities you can write, and duration, how you will write. So I think I have written on the slide. So just follow my slide. Training, seminar, workshop. I think this is another important thing. So I can expect that 4 years undergraduate student, he or she has 52 weeks, 48 months, 12 months into 4 years. So by 4 years, you have 48 months. So if I expect that one Friday or one holidays you will spend for the learning purpose, I think this is very simple. So in that case, I can expect that after completion of your graduation, in your CV, there will be 48 learning session. But just check your CV after completion of 4-year graduation, how many learning session you have written in your CV, like training, seminar, or workshop. I have seen few of them zero. Few of them zero. They don't have any addition in the as a fresh graduate, as I said. So you have to make the differentiate than others. So I think this is very, very important. I think due to COVID-19, it is very easy to attend. Today, see our host, Dr. Haider Shah. I think he is doing an excellent job. This is a novel purpose or CSR purpose. He is spending his valuable time to organizing this workshop, like their seminar workshop. Some cases, though most of them academics, but today it is not for the pure academician. This is for the young generation. Okay. So I think he has taken the different initiative also. And I hope in future also he will take like that initiative for our young generation. So how you will write? So I have written like successfully participated the workshop on the art of CV or resume writing organized by, you can write today's organization's name and date. And of course, you can write the date. Like that, you can write in your CV. So it doesn't mean that you have to write exactly how I have written, but you can follow this. Again, special interest, extracurricular activities, and co-curricular activities. So in that case, I have experienced that some cases our graduates, they mixed up the extracurricular activities and the co-curricular activities. See my slide. I think I have clearly defined. Example of extracurricular activities like good or expert in debating, dancing, singing, playing cricket, etc. Example of co-curricular activities like you have participated in business case competition, programming contest, etc. Example of interest, maybe you don't have anything, but still you have to write something on the CV. So in that case, you can write listening, music, traveling, reading book, etc. You know, your interest also, it makes sense. Like if you apply for a marketing job, in that case, traveling is a plus point. If you write that I like to travel, so it's a plus point for the marketing job. You know, the marketing job means whole day you have to travel. If you are a country manager, you have to travel whole country. So I think you understood that how your interest also is adding value to the CV. So I think after getting today's slides, so I think you will not be confused between extracurricular activities and co-curricular activities. Next, this is actually extracurricular activities and co-curricular activities. This is very, very, very important for the fresh graduate. Keep in mind. I told very, 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 very important. And see, how many extracurricular activities you have, you can check. And service activities, again, I have seen that our graduates, they mix up the service activities with the extracurricular activities also. I'm giving the, as I'm academician and PhD student, or now I'm PhD candidate, so of course I have to give the reference. So I'm giving the reference that where you will get the service activities heading. Principles of Human Resource Management by Stephen Robbins. I'm telling the book name. So Stephen Robbins, Human Resource Management book, see the chapter recruitment. There is a format of the CV. So in that format, you will get the service activities, what I have written here. Actually, I have copied from there. So service activities means you are a member of any voluntary organization or club. Again, this is very, 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 very important for the fresh graduate. Example, you are the president, maybe I have written, I was the ex-president of Graduate Student Club School of Business and Economics, University, Putra, Malaysia. Like that, in my CV, I have so many club activities information or the professional bodies information. And I think already you came to know, presently I'm also the Joint General Secretary, Bangladesh Society for Private University Academics. So like that, I have so many, but I expect my students will have like that so many experiences, like member of Daffodil International University Debating Club, member of Social Welfare Club, or member of any volunteer of any events. So it makes sense. When you are writing in the career objectives that I'm expert, or my key strength is I am very good in communication, leadership, organizing, it doesn't make any sense. But if you can write in the service activities heading, I was the president of Daffodil International University Debating Club. I was the general secretary of Daffodil International University Social Welfare Club. It makes sense that you have the leadership skill. You have the good communication skill. If you are the volunteer of any events, even picnic, annual picnic of your department, it makes sense. Then you have the organizing skills. So the employer is looking like that practical knowledge or practical experience. Language skills, I think in that case, they're looking for your English language skills. I think it is applicable for Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, for everybody, because our mother language is not English. And here it is required basically the IELTS or TOEFL. But apart from this, what you are writing, making a column, okay, and some cases maybe in my country also, we used to write Bangla, Arabic, Urdu, Hindi, or English. So I think you can write, but actually the employer is looking basically for the generally for the English. But if you go to the India or even Pakistan, so in that case maybe Hindi or Urdu, it makes sense. But generally we are looking for, they are looking for the English, and in that case the parameter is IELTS or TOEFL or any kind of English certificate course. Next, computer skill and IT skills. Very simple. You have to be expert in MS Office and expert in relevant software like ERP software, that is the edition. I have written in red color, has to be expert in Excel. For business graduate, you have to be expert in Excel before graduation. Don't expect that your employer will teach you the Excel. But just I think Dr. Haider Shah, he also will be agree with me that our students, how many students, they, as I said, they have to be expert in Excel. They are maybe they are very expert in using the Facebook and the other social networking ID, but they are not expert in the Excel. So that is the very sad news. So my suggestions, be the expert in Excel, and how you can learn Excel or MS Office. I think your Google mama, I used to say mama, I think you understood, means Google uncle. Okay. So your Google uncle is there, so you can learn everything from the Google, but you have to learn. Don't give the blame that our university, we had maybe only one computer course and that was not practical oriented. We didn't have the lab. I didn't get the space computer in the lab. So don't give the blame. So you can learn by yourself also. Special result, and I think this is not applicable for all, as actually the highest result it is encouraged for our academic and research job. For corporate job, it doesn't make any big sense. But again, if you write in the second page that my CGPA is very high, you can line one line Maybe especially if any special attraction you get from the recruiter, you may get. So this is not a very important point. Okay, as I said that for corporate jobs, result high CGPA is not required. This is maybe very applicable for the academic or research job. But I said that writing once again in the second page in bold means giving the special emphasis. Special achievement, this is also very important for the student. You have to write the national level achievement and who are already in the payroll for you, award in workplace or scholarship. How you will write? Example is there, like I received Best Employee Award 2020-21 from Grameen Phone Limited. So this is very, very important, especially for the who are already in the job. And for the fresh graduate, I told that if you got the scholarship or any national level any achievement, so you can write over here. Professional association, again as a student, you can be the member of, in Bangladesh context I wrote the student member of Bangladesh Society for Human Resource Management. This is only for the HR and major student, but second one, the student member of Society for Human Resource Management USA, to my knowledge, any student can be the member of SHRM. So like that, professional body attachment at the student life also, it will add value. And then next, personal information. As I said earlier, it is not a big information for the MNC, but for the local job, you need the personal information. References, some cases, maybe again, there is a debate. Maybe somebody says that, no, we don't give the reference, we don't prefer the reference, but I think somebody says, no, of course, you need the reference. To me, you can give the reference, though there is a debate on that. So when you will give the reference, so in that case, for the fresh graduate, you will give your in academic, basically from the senior teacher of university with full address, especially in which course teacher you got a good result. So I think you have a good communication, so you should write that, because I have the experience. So some cases company, they are asking over phone, some cases they are emailing or writing the sending the letter also for the recommendation. So I have to know that particular student. See the second point for the professional, immediate past supervisor with full address. My suggestion, don't be overconfident, give the present supervisor. So I think it makes sense psychologically if you can use if you can write the immediate past supervisor name. You know why? Because in general tendency as a human being, when you will leave an organization, in that case maybe they will think about negatively about you. But still, if you're after leaving the organization, if your boss can tell something about some good thing about you, so it makes sense that really you are a good. So that's why it is my experience, or I have pointed out that it is the better approach. You can write immediate past supervisor, and of course signature with date. And I think the last part of the CV, somebody says that, okay, I hereby declare that all the above information are correct. So I think this sentence not required. When you are signing with date, it means you are endorsing this. So I think by this, this is the last part on the CV. Very soon I'll move to the another maybe 10 minutes time I will get only for the interview tips and techniques. Video CV, I think it is another edition. And nowadays they are looking for the video CV. For video CV, you need a good script. And some cases, if they don't ask, so what you can do, 1 to 2 minutes video CV or 1 minute to 30 seconds video CV, you can upload in the YouTube channel, or you can upload in the Facebook also. So I think it will be a new addition for you. If they don't ask, so you can email. Okay, as I said, at least you can upload in the Facebook and YouTube channel. So maybe prospective employer will come to know about you from the video CV also. This is my Facebook ID and this is my email address. So by this, my first part is over. First part is completed. So I think, doctor, give me another 10 minutes. Let me finish the second part of my presentation also.
Sure, please take your time, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now let me add another file. Okay, I think, doctor, you may take 1 minute time by uploading this file. Over to you.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. I'm really enjoying the way you are giving the presentation and explanation. I love the way you have given wonderful suggestion to the fresh graduates, like for example, doing part-time job during their studentship. That's the wonderful, I think, idea. They should be doing it. And later on, I will be just telling everything which you have covered, which was so great. I think it is uploaded. You can start with that. Uh, Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
thank you. So I think it is visible, right?
Yes, sir, it's visible. Carry on, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now let me talk about another 10 minutes time, as actually I'm covering 2 days topic in 1 hour. I used to conduct one day for full one day, or maybe at least 2 to 3 hours for the CV, and at least another 2 to 3 hours for the interview tips and techniques. So, but 1 hour, let's try. Some cases, maybe if it is international webinar, so in that case, maybe we have to be concise like that. See, uh, your CV or resume was good. It has been shortlisted. You are the lucky one. You called an interview. So in interview, basically, there are three types of interview questions: the common interview questions, behavioral interview questions, and the technical interview questions. As I said earlier, that you have to give the clue in the CV or resume for asking questions during interview. Who has given the clue in the resume? For him or for her, it is very easy to pass this interview board, because you have given the clue. And who didn't give any clue, for him or her, maybe it will be difficult to face the questions, because you don't know what are the questions they are going to ask. Now let us discuss the first. These are the top 10 common interview questions. Due to time constraint, maybe I will not able to explain all the questions, but what I can share, I can read out all the questions and get the preparation. As I said, these are the common questions, and I think also Dr. Haider Shah also will be agree with me that basically these are the common questions our interviewer candidates are facing. So in that case, my suggestion will be, you get the preparation for these 10 questions, you get the preparations, and then you go to the interview. So first questions, tell about yourself. So I think it is a very common question. So for me, to me, I will suggest, take at least 10 times you write the answer, 1 or 2 minutes time for this, and 20 times you practice in front of mirror, because you know this question is coming. If I give an example like cricket, fast ball, soccer, or boundary, so it's a plus point for the batter, but it's a negative point for the bowler. But if the first ball is dot ball, so it is a good sign for the bowler. So like that, if you can catch it, tell about yourself, it is very important. So how will give the answer, maybe due to time constant today I'm not able to explain. Next, what is your greatest strength and weakness? So get the preparation on that. And of course, you try to match your answer with the applied job. Always try to match that which strength is relevant to this particular job I have applied. Next, number three, why should we hire you? Number four, how do you handle stress and pressure? Number five, describe a difficult work situation and project, and how you overcame it. Number six, what are your goals for the future? Number seven, why are you leaving or you have left your job? This is for the experienced people, not for the fresh graduate. Number eight, why do you want this job? Number nine, what are your salary expectations? Again, number nine, also in not all cases you will face these questions. Maybe some cases you will face these questions. And number 10, do you have any questions? So, do you have any questions? In that case, if you don't have any questions, and if they don't discuss anything regarding the salary, so at least don't ask what is the salary for this position. And for these common questions, my tips for the fresh graduate. So some cases you can take, you will try to take the example from your student life, like extracurricular activities or co-curricular activities experience. Some cases, okay, like handle your stress or pressure, like their situation or difficult work or project. So I'm sorry that due to time constraint, I am not able to explain all the points how you will give the answer. Maybe later on, if we have a big session, so in that time we can share. Next, top 10 behavioral interview questions. So this is here you have to the behavioral questions you don't know. It will be on kind of situational questions. So in that case, you may take 10 to 20 seconds time, okay, and think and then give the answer. So that's my suggestion. And again, for the behavioral interview questions, you have to, as a fresh graduate, you have to take the example from the your from your student life experience, especially the club activities or the other extracurricular activities. If you are fresh already on the payroll, in that case you have to take your present job experience. Let's see very quickly. The first questions, maybe it may be like, tell me about how you worked effectively under pressure. Number two, how do you handle a challenge? Give an example. Maybe it was in the earlier question also. Number three, have you ever made a mistake? How did you handle it? Number four, give an example of how you set goals. Number five, give an example of a goal you reached and tell me how you achieved it. Number six, describe a decision you made that was not popular and you how you handled implementing it. Number seven, give an example of how you worked in a team. Number eight, what do you do if you disagree with someone at work? Number nine, share an example of how you were able to motivate employees or co-workers. And number 10, have you handled a difficult situation and how? So for these behavioral questions, actually the behavioral question will be more than the other type of questions. So I think the candidate should give the special emphasis on these top 10 behavioral interview questions. And the next is the technical questions, basically the generally from your field of study or major in a major subject. So in that case, my suggestion will be at least try to know the basic terms or basic concept of your subject area. And now let us discuss about few tips and techniques, like few common mistakes the candidate does in interview, and you should not do that. If you know the mistakes, so you can avoid. So let us know the mistakes, what our candidates does that, or what our candidates do that. The first one is the dressing inappropriately. Some cases. Number two, arriving late. This is applicable especially for the Dhaka. I don't know about your Lahore or the other cities in Pakistan, but if I give my cities, you know that Dhaka is a huge traffic jam. So you have to make a plan 1 hour before I will reach to the office. In that case, maybe at least 10 minutes time. If you can reach, you are lucky enough. So considering the Dhaka arriving, you should have enough time on your hand to avoid this arriving late. Number three, bringing drink with you. So here we are talking about the soft drinks. So I think you can bring the, or you can think about the alcohol. Drink here means we are talking about the alcohol. So you can bring the drinking water, no problem, but don't bring any alcohol. Number four, using your phone, using your phone during the interview. You have to be cautious on that. Number five, not knowing anything about the company. This is the red mark. So this is a very common thing. Our candidate doesn't candidates, they don't work on that, not knowing about anything about the company. Number six, Fuji resume facts. Some cases they don't know what are the references they have used in the resume. So that's why I think before going any interview, you should at least few times you should spend on the resume also. Now, number seven, not paying attention. Number eight, talking too much. Number nine, not being prepared to answer questions. Already, I have given 20 bonus questions. So, inshallah, if you get the preparation on that, so I think, inshallah, majority questions you can give answer very well in very well manner. So, but experience or the research says that our graduates they are not prepared for the questions, so not being prepared to answer questions. And finally, bad mouthing the past employers. So this is very common mistake we do. And I think this is the last slide. That is the tips and techniques you can what you can do. 10 interview skills that will help you to get hired. The first is the preparation. So in preparation for the dress up, preparation for the CV, preparation for the interview questions, preparation for the study about the company. So I think I have given all the tips. So just you will spend time on that. Number two, punctuality. So of course, in any case, you cannot be late. Number three, think before you speak. This is a very good technique. So don't be very fast for answering the questions. Number four, speaking clearly, cohesively, and calmly. Number five, being confident but not arrogant. Confidence, you have to be confident, but don't be arrogant. Number six, actually listening. So listening is a good, very good skills. Number seven, expressing optimism with your words and your body language. Lucky seven is very important. See, if you are frustrated, maybe you are not getting the job. Okay, maybe you have a good pressure on that. Okay, maybe already your parents stopped to send your pocket money. Okay, but you cannot be frustrated. You cannot show that you are frustrating. Already you became frustrated in your words, in your facial expression, body language. You have to express you are very optimistic people. Number eight, showing interest without desperation. Number nine, knowing more than your elevator speech. Like, be careful about tricky or negative questions. Example is in ISS, especially in defense. Okay, in Army, Navy, or Air Force. I have the experience. I faced Navy ISSB exam. So there are some cases they ask a few tricky questions, basically the negative questions. So in that case, you have to be very tactful. But in corporate, maybe normally they don't ask any negative questions, but or any personal questions. But as I said, I have the experience in defense, like Army, Navy, or Air Force. They used to ask. And finally, express gratitude. As for example, end of interview or by email or SMS. Of course, the end of the interview, you can express your gratitude to the board members. And afterwards, also, you can send a courtesy email to them. If you can collect their email address from the website, you can give a courtesy email. That is I think this is also another good suggestions. Normally, our candidates, they don't do that. So I think there is a chance this time if you don't get any call, but for future, you will be recorded in their mind or in their database. So give a courtesy email to them. SMS, it will be very difficult to get the cell number, and that I'm not encouraging. So I'm encouraging you can collect the email address of the HR manager or the head of the functional head from the website, and you can give a courtesy email to them. So these are the very, I think, important tips and techniques. And finally, learn to market yourself. Personal branding is very important. Start networking through Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google Plus. Start networking by attending seminar, workshop, training. One important thing, when you will attend any kind of seminar, workshop, or training, you will ask question. You will ask questions. This is the technique for networking. If you ask questions like today after end of the session, I think in future also who will be watching this video, they will come to know about you, your competency. Asking question also, it is a skill. Okay, so this is a very, but normally human, most of the cases we feel shy, we don't ask questions. So if you want to brand yourself, if you want to market yourself, if you attend any kind of seminar, workshop, or training, you have to ask the questions. Finally, again, I think this is my Facebook link and my email address. So if you have any further query, the audience, you can write me. You can follow me in my Facebook also. I'll try my level best. Apart from my research work, at this moment, my first priority is my research. Thank you, Dr. Haider Shah. Over to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Superb session. It was very nicely elaborated and explained within a wonderful time. And I know that you conduct this session for a whole day, And I was just kept on thinking that if I sit for a one whole day and you will be just explaining the things, how wonderful session it would be, how informative session it would be, because the way you explained so many things, I was just looking at your slides. It was heavily loaded but so simple and so informative slides you have prepared it. Congratulations, you did a fantastic job of sharing the knowledge, because you have given a wonderful presentation. And I love the way you started it. You started with these wonderful quotation, be the best version of yourself. And very nicely you have given the quotation that yes, how you are going to project yourself, this is your first statement, and how you are going to capture the HR manager, because you have less than 1 minute and you have to impress them. And then your suggestions for the upcoming graduates, that how they can prepare themselves. I love your one of the suggestion, and I 100% agree with you that learn the MS Excel sheet. That's very important. Yes, very nicely you have mentioned it. So all the way the presentation, I love your content, your wonderful explanation. And I love that way that you started with the difference between the CV and resume, because we received a lot of questions regarding that when we should prepare the CV and when we should prepare the resume. And I would say that's the beauty of the expert, that they know the basic question and they address during their presentation. So most of the questions the same way you have addressed already in your wonderful presentation. And I really loved your second part as well, because the question which you have given is the most favorite question of the employer. All the time they are asking these questions, but if you are prepared, that's the wonderful thing. And I loved your one of the statement that tell me about yourself, that you have to go to the mirror and you have to try 10 times at least, so that because that question you cannot avoid. And I loved your cricket match example for that purpose, that it's the first ball for the batsman for and for the bowler as well, how you are going to establish your credibility in front of the employee. Very nicely said, wonderful. Again, I would say thank you very much for such a great session. If you allow me quickly, I will ask a few questions which are left, and it's very important to have your opinion on that.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, please. So let me just ask the first question. The first question, dear sir, consists of two parts. The first part is that please, sir, please guide us. Should we write the weaknesses in the CV, because we write the strengths in the CV? Do you recommend weaknesses in the CV to be written? And second part of the question is, if you are asked about the weaknesses, what should we answer? Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you. I think this is very important question, and this is very challenging also to give this answer. So it will ask, what is your weakness? So in that case, if you say that I don't have any weakness, so this is not the right approach. So now the again, so what you will say? Will you acknowledge your genuine weakness? So see, it's also one kind of acting. Okay, you are acting for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So my suggestion is, of course, you have to address the weakness. So if you say as a human being, I don't have any weakness, this is not the correct approach. So what you will do, but don't acknowledge any genuine weakness, which is a genuinely, it is a weakness for that particular job. Okay. So what you have to do, like if you ask me, let me give an example that I am a university faculty. So in the interview board, if vice chancellor or the dean ask me what is your weakness, so I can say that okay, I'm a very simple man. So always I believe the people. So it's maybe one weakness. So do you think that as an academician or as a human being, I'm applying for academician jobs or the researcher job? In that case, believing people, it is really a drawbacks for this job position. I don't think so. But still, I acknowledge this is my weakness. I believe all the people because I'm a very simple and simple man. So this is the second part. I think I have addressed that how you will face in interview board. The first part is, will you write in CV? No. In that case, I think I have explained in my presentation. Don't write any negative points in the CV. In the CV, never disclose your weakness. Okay? Because you have to get the interview call fast. So they didn't ask you, you write your weakness. So why you will write? So you will not write any weakness in the CV, but in the interview board, if they ask, You have to acknowledge the weakness, but keep in mind, you have to respond that that weakness generally not a weakness for that particular position. It may be the general weakness. So it is very difficult. Thank you, doctor.
Yeah, very nicely said. Wonderful answer to this question. I really love the way you answer it. Thank you very much. Second question, the last question, since we have a time limitation, it is very important one. They want to have your guidance that, dear sir, please guide us. Should we include in a CV regarding our social skills, because it is also a kind of skills and can be added value for a fresh graduate? Yes, please.
Thank you. I think already I mentioned that for a fresh graduate, extracurricular activities, co-curricular activities, service activities, these are very, very important. For what? To prove yourself, you have a good communication skill, you have a good leadership skill, you have a good organizing skills. So that's why in the CV, you have to mention, or it is better to mention your social skills. If you have the social skills, it shows that you are extrovert type of people. So in business, I think for any, if you are a finance manager also, I don't think so. It's a negative side for if you are if you have the some social skills. So to have the social skills, to me, always it is a positive side. Thank you, doctor.
Yeah, very nicely said once again. I really wished we could have hours and hours webinar with you, because the way you are answering, the way you are sharing your knowledge is so wonderful. I really admire it so greatly. You have conveyed your message, and you are very right. That's the wonderful thing, that for the beginners, they are always confused with the CV and what are the interview tips. Last but not the least, I would say, at the end of the session, we ask our guests that what is your message to the world. So, what is your message to the world as a speaker, teacher, author, researcher, trainer, learner, professional, and educator? Yes, please.
Very simple, only just one word. Always be positive. Be positive.
Wow.
Be positive. Thank you.
Wow, wonderful. That's the wonderful and powerful statement. If you remain positive, you can change your mindset, you can change the surrounding around yourself. And I think that's the beauty of the researcher, that they always give the reference which you have already given regarding the service, that how you are going to include this service in your extracurriculum activities. And you have very nicely mentioned that yes, researcher, they always give the reference. And secondly, they always give one word which could be explained in so multiple perspectives. So you have given a wonderful golden word, that be positive, and then the rest of things would work for you. Very nicely said. And once again, I would say thank you very much for such a wonderful and powerful content which you have explained. Is so great. Thank you once again. And in the last, I would say that yes, CV writing and interview tips and techniques are so critical, and it's art. So you have to equip yourself in order to learn it properly. So we highly recommend that do follow the distinguished guest speaker through his research work, and you can email him for future learning and guidance. He's very generous and always ready to help the people. Moreover, we will be providing you his contacts and details. If you want to communicate with him, he welcome everyone to be his student or to provide his guidance. That's all we have time for today. Thank you once again, Sir Muhammad Abdullah Al Mamun, for your wonderful time and energy, for sharing such a wonderful content with us. Moreover, I would like to thank our audience who joined us. If you have any additional questions about the information shared today, please email us or connect to the speaker directly. He has already mentioned his social media account and email address. We will be also providing in the description of this video as well. So thank you all for your support and liking our session. Stay tuned as many sessions are on the way. Please do not miss any session. Until next session,